here I am back at the studio working on that update. This week's been busy. If you're following the blog and there's the bug down there in the corner that tells you where to go. It's not really a blog, it's a website. I get people saying, I don't do blogs, but they do Facebook, but they don't do blogs. Oh, why not? What's the difference? The blog is the part of the website where I post daily updates about what's going on at the studio. And it has been crazy busy here with visitors and dental appointments and vet appointments and other things this week. So not a lot got done, but I did manage to get some things done. And one of the things I'm gonna play with today, because it's Friday, I bought this auto body repair kit. It's a, what do they call it? A paintless one where you can pull dents out with hot glue. I figured I'd show it to you. Then I'll show you some of the other things that's going on. So here we go. We are starting Battlestar Galactica TOS, and the first thing I had to do was build these little guys here, which are starboard inserts, starboard and port inserts that go either side here. A little bit of orientation to get used to about how these go in. Not bad. The parts fit really well. I mean, Mobius makes a good kit. So, this is Mobius, correct? It must be. Now, I'm using my favorite glue for this, and it's a liquid, very thin liquid. I can't really, well, if you look down there, you can see it. It's very, very thin. And the nice thing about it is, unlike tube glues, it just bonds and welds like it's CA. And it works better than CA because, well, CA will pop loose. Now, CA is good when you don't care if it pops loose or not, because you want to get in at another date, maybe, and do some surgery, as Model Man Tom used to call it. So I'm gluing on the, what do they call them? The bow side panels. And obviously I will be drilling holes to these for lights. Looking at Randy's picture and their picture. There's a few of them up there, not many. So those should be easy to do. So I got both those in. This side here, was it this side? No, it was this side here. Didn't fit in perfectly. It kind of bowed out, so it meant the part actually had a warp in it. So I bent it by hand, and then the plastic struck just got it, held it in there perfectly. So that's great. So at least I got a little bit of something done today. I'm going to do a lot more tomorrow. I'm obviously not going to glue on the bow section because bottom of the bow, because I want to start drilling holes and stuff for lighting. So the way they're having you build this, separate sections. And so what do we end up with in the end? Leaving, of course, the bottom off. I think you end up with all the main components. You do. Put those together, and then just the whole thing down. So I'm going to do what Randy's probably suggesting, and that is to leave the shells open. As you can see, he has done in here. He's left all this open. So you see that little thing right there? That's stuck here with hot glue, and I don't know if you can see it or not. You can see the whole fender move. It's that strong, hot glue. Who would think? So we got this little device here, and of course, because I am shooting video, my next door neighbors are loud, and they have forklifts, and they're just having a ball out there at oh, chip there. Okay, this goes down over here. Now there's a couple of different tools that you can use in this kit, and the other one is for bigger dents, and it's, where is it? Here it is. It's this guy here. Sorry, get your barf bag out, I know. Is this. And this is for bigger stuff. And I got a bigger stuff on the fender back here, a little dent I can just pop right out. So you take this knob here, and I clean the surface first. I put it over the ding on the fender, and there's quite a few of them. I'm hoping that this will pop out. And you put this down here, like so. This is the first time I've tried this. And you start pulling until it pops out or comes out. And I don't know, it looks like it's pulling it out, but I don't want to go too far. Oh, okay. Now, to get this off is not easy. And it does look like it pulled it out too. So what I'm gonna do next is put a little alcohol on it, because from what I understand, according to Gary Hughes, everything goes better with alcohol. So they give you in this kit, besides this lovely little tap hammer with rubber pads on it, a bunch of nylon taps to tap out the dents. It's a really complete little kit. A whole bunch of different foot pads, all different ones you can use. But they give you this little bottle here that I'm going to put alcohol in. 99%. I'm dying to try this. I've had this for a few days now. And so theoretically, they just show in the videos, you squirting this stuff on. Like so, and I guess it works its way under or something. Oh, yeah, that's right. They give you a scrapey tool. Come on, scrapey tools, where are they? I know they're here. You can't lie to me. There they are. And that's what's going to pop off this, theoretically. So let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It works as advertised, folks. Look at that. And, oh, my God, it did pull that dent out. Not completely. I'll probably do it again, and use a smaller foot pad, but that was really bad before. That just pulled that right out. There's another one right here, and if I don't stop myself now, I'll probably end up doing the whole car today. But, God, that really worked. There's a slight depression there. So you know what? I'm going to try one more time to do this. So what I'm going to do is take the foot pad, and I'm going to use a smaller one this time and put some hot glue on it and put it over there and do it again. While that sets up over there, we got a nice gorilla pipes mask out and a nice chimp. It really looks like Roddy laying there. It's amazing. Being that I actually worked with Roddy on that. And here's another one that will come out later today. It's a little bit wet in there still. And this is for a customer who bought all three. He wanted 2 finished and 1 unfinished because he wanted to try his hand at actually, put my hair on painting it himself. So I will do that. Over here, we've got parts for rocket kits that I think I can pop this one out. One hand, come on. These are little tips that go on the F-15 Delta concept, and this is the last of the nose cones that I cast up yesterday, and those are all over here. This is a beautiful V2 rocket. My friend Mark Helmick, yes, he 3D printed this stuff, but the 3D printing would not do all the detail you see in this. I don't know if that's showing up or not, but maybe if I get it there, you can see it. Come on, focus, there you go. And there's lots of panel lines and little hatches and things that I shaped. What I did is I shaped this whole thing, the 3D print, and puttied it 1,000 times to get rid of all the little ripples, and I put details on it, little bits. Now these are for the fins, and these are also part of the 3D print, but this is not. This is all done by hand. And Mark, I thank you for watching for that. Here's one of the fins. So it's got a little part where it didn't come out so good, easily fixed. And these are all brand new X15 nose cones for the Delta and the X15. These are all hand laved by me and detailed. So there's that. And then over here we have the P51 Mustang, which finally is covered top and bottom. And now what I'm working on is the wing, and I'm going to be today putting on more Monocoat because I really need to get the Mustang off this table. So let's go try to pull that dent. Now, the thing about this material is that that you should know about. If you're working with Monocoat for the first time, you'll see there is a backing on it. You see that? No, you don't, because I'm like right there. You see that? That peels off the back. Now, there have been people in the past who didn't know that and did a great job somehow monocoating their airplane, and then when it got airborne, the covering came off like that. And what happens when that happens? You no longer have lift and your plane goes down. So you remove the backing first. I'm going to do that. All right, well, hopefully you can see this. If I can get this to stay up. Don't breathe. Okay. What I'm going to do is take this Monocoat iron here, and I'm going to start tacking down in various locations, like there. Actually, yeah, no, that's fine. Well, actually, I'm going to lift it up a little bit. You can see how well it sticks. This iron's pretty hot right now, so we shouldn't have too much of a problem. I need to come a bit more forward over to here. Tack down again. It will peel up again fairly easily, so I'm tacking it in spots all along here. And I'm going to do this all the way around until I have every spot of it tacked down well enough that I can start stretching from down here. Now, I'm not good at this. I have been. I'm more of a fiberglass fuselage, or fiberglass your fuselage, and with thin glass and sand and paint and get this really nice finish. But I know people that can do this that are so amazing, you would never know it was Monocoat. I do okay though, as you can see by the other wing panel. And you know what? This plane's going to be flown. This is not going to be a hangar queen. And there goes my neighbors again. They don't really care that you get to hear anything I'm saying, so no, they're not. It's not their fault. They're lovely people, but we do run into this all the time, especially if we try to shoot movies here. Now I'm cutting a dart there and tacking the leading edge. Mustang has that classic part protruding out like that, which was done to accommodate the landing gear. I'm going to tack this all the way down, all the way around. Hopefully the phone is still. It is. Okay, so here, you know, I'm going to have kind of a dart here. And you do one first and then the other, and because you go around the corners, if your Monocoat iron is hot enough, you can pretty much stretch this stuff, heat it, it's vinyl, and pull it really smooth, probably a lot smoother than I did on the other side. You pull the dart down like that, and you do it again, and it goes over pretty well. And then I'm going to start pulling here. You can't see any of this, but I'm just tacking. Now I'm going to tack here, down here at the tip, which I'm really not feeling. So But that's what I'm going to do all the way around. And believe it or not, this wrinkly thing will come out and be really smooth. And I'll show you that process in a moment. Okay, you can sort of see it. I'll hold it up a bit. You're probably wondering, how am I going to get rid of that? Well, this is called a heat gun. And you'll see that rather than use the monocoat iron, there's some really areas here that are not going to be easy to get the creases out of. So we use the heat gun instead, and slowly but surely, don't call me Shirley, it'll come out. As long as you don't burn the monocoat, which is easily done if you're not careful. But with years of experience, and a good heat gun, you could pretty much get a lot of it out that way and then use the iron. But here is kind of scary. You don't want to do too much or you're going to burn the monocoat, which I haven't done yet, amazingly. This stuff's like magic. I remember the first time I used it, it was like, oh my God, the things I could do with this besides airplanes. Props. You know, you have a metal finish on a wood prop you've made for a movie or something. It's done in a second. Now, I go back to the monocoat iron. Hoping you can still see what I'm doing. I think you can. And we're just going to take those out. And it's not that hot right now, so it's taking a little longer to do. There's some stuff up here, and it just takes it out. I wish I could remove the dents in my car like that. Well, you kind of can. As it turns out, you can take a heat gun and heat up the metal in it, and using those tools, it'll pop out easier because everything has a memory to it. But unfortunately, a lot of those dents have been there for a very long time, and so their memory is being a dent. Whereas if it just happened, it would come out a lot easier. So this basically shows you what I do, and of course, I will clean this up more, add a little strip here and there, but that's, I'll see here. Pick that up. Don't put your finger over it. There you go. So Richard, that's how we do monocoat. It's really not that hard. Like I said, there are people that are just incredible at doing this. I'm not one of them. But I do a good enough job that by the time this thing is painted and got decals on it and everything else, it's really gonna live the part. Okay, well, that took a little over 2 hours to do. I didn't get to do these. I'll do these next week, but the biggest, hardest part of this plane is all done. And underneath there was really hard because I had to go around all that stuff, which has to be painted silver. I mean, there's always stuff to do on these planes, even when you think you're done, but at least 90% of, or 95% of all the covering is done, and she looks really pretty. So it's a nice wing. So flaps are not connected right now because I got to get them off anyway to cover them next week. So, but it's starting to look like an airplane. Back at Battlestar, and I'm looking at Randy's instructions, and I'm seeing the method to his madness. And they tell you to build this a certain way. You can't do it if you're going to put lights in it, not using Randy's method. So they want you to put the bottom neck on this, and they want you to put the bottom on this, and those have to be left open. And what I'm seeing is that Randy's got kind of a half and half shell thing going on, and I really see the logic in that. So I've located these parts which go on the end, and these here, these all do go in. And then I guess at some point I have to run wires through them for the lights. So, so I'm not going to put everything in until I look at the instructions more clearly, but I can see, looking at this and just connecting these parts, how I can start getting that bottom shell. So, oh, well, you know, these go in like so. I have to point out these parts fit very well. It doesn't surprise me, you know, sometimes with kits, and even sometimes with Mobius, you get some hard fits, but look at that. It's beautiful. So, again, I'm not sure that I want to glue this down yet because, well, yeah, because we want to be able to run the lights into the nacelle. Looks like he's got it down here, but again, I'm going to be very careful. So I'm going to go ahead and get the whole shell figured out, how the whole thing goes together. And that's probably as far as I'll get today. I'll come back here in a second. 20% of this is just figuring out how things go, how they want you to build it, how he suggests you build it. And these areas marked in the red are where you want your cabling and your lighting to come through. So I'm being very careful not to close up anything. Like this. This is the flight connector. Okay, flight connector back half. This goes between the nacelles. These support the nacelles. This goes between them. And that's where he wants you to run your lights through. And you can see, it's very clear here. Once that piece goes in, you drill a couple holes in it. And you drill some holes in the end there. And before you close this whole piece up, which is right here, I'm putting together now, you want to make sure you can get the wiring through it. So, you know, it's fun. I really enjoy doing this. Now I'm seeing things I recognize, although it's interesting to note that I guess this slips through somehow. I'm not seeing this back here, but I see this up here, and so, yeah. I'm not sure I should have glued that together, but that's how it is. Let's see if we can get this piece in there before it's too late. So there's that part, and you know, you can see now I've got a part that matches, and you can see that Randy's is yellow, and that's because he got a test print. This is the actual model kit. So that goes like that. We want to keep this all open because we need to be able to run cable through it for lighting, and eventually that part fits right here like that, and that goes underneath or connects to that, and or something like that. I'm not sure 100% yet. Making sure always that your parts are really gluing down. So there's the general layout. You know, a lot of it's just going through the parts and figuring out, you know, what the plan is between his instructions and their instructions, and now I got my head around this. I know how to put this together and start putting the lighting in. So these sub-assemblies will all be light blocked and painted with a basic primer color. And there'll be some more sub-assemblies with those. And then after all the lighting and the boards in, we can actually start putting the model all the way together. So obviously I'm not going to use their base. I might use this and put it on another base, but we'll be using one of these connectors over here, which I have quite a few of. Actually, I don't have as many anymore because you guys keep having me build models. But basically how these work is this part goes up inside the model, this part goes in the base, these unscrew. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. They unscrew like that, and then if I do this, I get an award. Somebody send me a free model of a Fiat 124. How am I doing? There, I did it. Oh, wow. Okay, so this part goes in the model and will be at the underside, the base of this. And this part goes in the shaft, which will be mounted to this, which will be mounted to probably a wood base. And what's great about these is that you can disconnect the model from the base and ship it or transport it that way, and you won't have any problems with it getting broken, which we often run into with the mail. So that's going to do it for this week's SNG Studio update. I'm a little tired. It's been a long day, a long week, and I hope you enjoy this video. Next week there's going to get a lot more done in this. We're going to be painting 3 masks, laying hair on 2 masks, and making up 3 rocket kits. And if anything else comes in over the weekend, well, there'll be that to deal with too. More work on the car, because I like that. And of course, the Mustang will get some more monocoat, and slowly but surely I'll start painting the glare shield, the red tail. I'm doing it Tuskegee Airmen. Basic paint scheme for Tuskegee. So we'll have black glare shield, red nose, red tail, red wingtips, and stars and bars. No victory stripes this time. Yeah, and it's going to be a really cool model, and I'll be shaking in my knees as always the first flight. But you know what? I've never flown a Mustang that I didn't like to fly and that didn't fly well, except the first time I ever tried to fly one, and that was just after I had got my first solo with a high wing, and I said, I'm going right to a Mustang. We'll tell that story later. You guys have a great weekend. Oh, and if you like this video, please subscribe. Please give us a like. You know, we're creeping up to that 5,000 subscribers, and I really appreciate all of you who've done that. We love you a whole bunch, and we will see you next week, I promise.